That's our excuse.
Good evening, and welcome to WANA Live, the reading series of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. I'm your host, Damian Dressick. This is your other host,
Christina Fasonic. How is everybody this evening? I hope that you are all well out there. We are, as it says, in Moraine State Park in Pennsylvania, and there's word of some snow coming this way tomorrow.
I'm about to build a fire.
Yeah, we're about to build a fire, so that'll be good.
I've been reading a lot of Jack London.
Think that'll help?
Well, I don't think he had matchlight charcoal briquettes.
No, I don't think he was that fortunate. That would have been too easy. So tonight we have Mitch James. He is a professor of composition and literature at Lakeland Community College in Kirtland, Ohio, and the managing editor at Great Lakes Review. He is the author of Seldom Seen, A Miner's Tale by Sunbury Press, and you can find his latest short fiction in Made of Rust and Glass, Midwest Literary Fiction, Volume 2, Red Branch Review, and Poetry at Watershed Journal. I Thought I Heard a Cardinal Sing, Ohio's Appalachian Voices, and Southern Florida Poetry Journal, and scholarship at Journal of Creative Writing Studies. So let's bring him on.
Okay.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good
Hello,
evening.
I do want to say that for everyone watching that we are on a bit of a time delay here because of our internet connection. So it's not you, it's us.
How are you this evening, Mitch?
I'm doing very well, Damian. Thank you. I was going to give the 3 seconds to make sure for the time delay. I'm doing fantastic. Very excited to be here. I appreciate you all inviting me on.
Excellent. What are you going to be reading for us this evening?
I'm going to read a small excerpt from the newest novel, Seldom Seen. I'll hold it up here for people to see if you can kind of see it there. So I'm going to read a little excerpt from that for a couple of minutes. Would you like me to tell you about
it?
We're going to do your thing.
Okay. So first I'll just kind of read off the back of the book here so folks know what the project is about overall. So Seldom Seen follows Brander. He's an Illinois native who moves to Alaska after he graduates high school. He comes back to Illinois, his hometown, after a couple of years, and he finds out that his mom has passed away of cancer and that his older brother has sold off the property in which he grew up. This is rough on him, and so while failing to reconcile this sudden shift, Brander encounters Richter, who is this sort of specter of a man in the novel, and Richter promises Brander that the answers to life are at Seldom Seen Mine, which is the largest coal mine in the United States. And so with nothing really holding him back, Brander moves to Pennsylvania, takes a job at Seldom Seen Mine, and fails at every attempt to amend his life. He loses his friends, his lover, and possibly his mind. So where I'm going to pick up in the book is about halfway through. We're going to meet Brander. We're going to meet his buddy Lucky, who is a person he befriends when he starts working in the coal mine. And Brander and Lucky are at a meth house where they believe Lucky's brother Kane can be located. Kane struggles with addiction throughout the novel. He overcomes it for a little while and then falls back into it. At this point, Lucky doesn't know that, but he suspects it. And so we're going to pick up in the novel where Brander and Lucky are at the meth house looking for Lucky's brother Kane. Lucky and Brander rounded a corner and closed in on the weather-worn barn, the front like a rib cage, boards bleached with fat gaps between them where they no longer sat flush. A young girl with a pocked face was spread, half conscious, across the lap of a gaunt, hatchet-faced old man, easily old enough to be the girl's father. The man tried to rub the girl's crotch through her jeans, but her legs were together. He pushed and rubbed, but she didn't respond, so he tugged at one thigh until he could palm her between the legs and work her in his hand like dough. She didn't move, just laid back, her fat pupil gaze clutching worthlessly at the unregistered distance. Lucky stepped up to the two of them. "Where's Kane?" he asked. The man guffawed and kept rubbing the girl. "Kane Camp," said Lucky. "You know him? He in there?" "I don't know who's all in there, bud. I'm out here, not in there." The girl turned her head slowly and looked at Lucky. She yelled and leapt from the man's lap and fell to the ground. She crabbed walk away from Lucky, screaming and flailing and kicking dirt and leaves. She fought to stand, and when she did, she ran off into the woods, hollering sounds without language, stumbling and glaring over her shoulder. The man sitting laughed and laughed and laughed. Lucky walked through the entry door beside the man, leading with the barrel of the gun. Brander followed. A sour smell and acerbic haze pervaded the place. There were makeshift tables along the walls, covered in detergent bottles and milk jugs and juice bottles and Sudafed and soda cans with holes in them. Foil, hollowed pen casings, sandwich baggies, knives, screwdrivers, needles, syringes, cleaning agents, the skins of old batteries. Tupperware, Drano, propane, paint stripper, Bunsen burners, dancing flames. Men and women in corners, clavicle, scapula, ilia, stretching flesh, something living, digging its way out, smoking, snorting, shooting, stirring, cooking, feedling in corners, sprawling in dirt, laughing and crying and digging at flesh, and some doing nothing at all. To Lucky's left, a teenage boy, seemingly cognizant, scraped a flathead screwdriver back and forth across the bottom of a large Tupperware container, loosening a brown cake from the plastic. He stopped and shook the container gently. Parts of the cake slid to one of the corners. He began scraping again. "Hey," said Lucky. The boy looked at Lucky and kept working. "What, man?" Lucky looked at the gun, then at the kid. "What do you want?" he asked again, still scraping. "We're looking for Kane Camp. You know him?" "Up in the loft. He just finished a run," said the kid. Lucky lowered the barrel and walked towards the loft. "No use going up there. I just said he finished a run." The kid stopped scraping, shook the container, and then scraped again. "What the fuck's that mean?" Lucky looked at Brander, who shrugged his shoulders, then back at the boy. The kid laughed. "He just finished a fucking run, bro. You know? He's out, dude. Out. There ain't no getting to him." "He's sleeping?" "He's fucking out. He's out. What don't you get? Maybe dead. Fuck, man, he just finished a run." Lucky lifted the barrel of the shotgun and knocked the container of brown powder from the boy's hands. It flew Brander's direction. He jumped back, arms and legs spread as if it were acid. It hit the floor, the powder mixed with dirt. "Oh, what the fuck, man?" The kid fidgeted, looking at the table, then grabbed the used syringe. "Fuck you, man," he said. He pulled the syringe back. Lucky shoved the barrel into the kid's sternum and stopped him cold. "I'll blow you all over the barn, you dumb fuck. Now, what the hell is a run?" "It's a run. You know. You shoot up all fucking day, man. All fucking day." The kid took the syringe and ran it up and down his arm, stabbing himself over and over. "All fucking day. And then poof." He threw his arm in the air, the syringe airborne, hitting the floor behind him, behind Brander. "You're out. You're fucking out. That's a run, man. That's it." The kid smiled and shook his hand. He stood like Christ on the cross, Lucky's barrel to his chest. "Out. Out. Then you're out," mumbled the kid, smiling, neck arched towards the ceiling. Lucky lowered the barrel and turned toward the loft. Brander walked past the kid, still standing and mumbling to himself. Brander looked around the bar at all the creatures. Some stared at him, some got high, some slept, some just didn't care. Lucky climbed the ladder to the loft, setting the gun at the top when he could, following it up. Lucky grabbed the gun and stood, Brander right behind. "Where the fuck is he?" asked Lucky. "I'm going to kill him." They walked around the loft, and in one corner there were 2 bales of hay out of place. Kane was tucked in the gap, a dry white film around his lips. "God damn it," Lucky said. He kicked Kane's feet. "Get up!" He took a knee and rolled his brother onto his back. "Kane, goddammit, get up!" He grabbed Kane's jaw and shook his head back and forth. "Kane!" Lucky held his brother's jaw with one hand, set the gun down, and smacked him with the other. Lucky shifted Kane by the collar, his shoulders just off the ground. His brother's head hung lame, his breathing shallow, slow. Lucky let him go.
Wow. All right. That's some great stuff, man.
Thank you.
No, that was really terrific work. I really like that. I love the energy. Read it really well too. Love the energy and the voices. Good stuff.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks.
I really like the way the language, the rapidity of the language, the staccato part of the language mimicked what was happening in the action.
Yeah, definitely intentional, but definitely important. I think in that scene, it is kind of a weird scene for me to pick because the book really isn't about addiction, and it's not it's not really a. I mean, the book itself might be borderline rural noir in places, but it's really not overall. So some of that stuff isn't necessarily pervasive throughout the book, but I think it is an interesting scene that seems to catch people's attention, and people have told me like they like that scene. So
Yeah, no, you're absolutely fluent in Dope Fiend. I love that line when he says, "Oh, I know, bud, I'm out here." Like, it's just, oh yeah, that's great stuff. It's a run, man, a run.
You spend a little time around
really
it. Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's funny because like, I'm sorry, go ahead, Damien. I missed you. What'd you say?
I'm not used to the delay. I was saying the verisimilitude of it and the tension of the scene and the love for his brother and the gun in the room full of dope fiends. Just, I really love the way you assemble the whole business and the lovely writing too at the beginning, describing the barns. Just top shelf stuff, man.
All right, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
So what time period does this take place?
This is contemporary. I mean,
I thought I wasn't sure.
yeah. So there is a little part at the very beginning. This isn't quite a spoiler, but it's a little bit of more of a hint than the regular reader would get if they just picked it up and read it. But the very beginning starts in the future, and then the book picks up. So really, the whole book is like it's told during the book itself is actually in the past compared to the first chapter. But the book itself, the rest of it, with the exception of that first chapter, is happening like in the present time, contemporary moment. At the time it would have been when I wrote the book, which would have been like 2013. But, in some ways, a lot of things have changed, but in other ways they haven't. So I think the book is still pretty, people have cell phones and things like that. So.
Yeah. The name of the mine, where did that come from? I have a suspicion, but.
It is a real mine. It's in Patton, Pennsylvania area. It is not it never was the largest coal mine in the United States, nowhere close. I've taken a lot of fictional liberties with the area and with that mine. But it is a real mine. It was actually, you could go into it as a tour, like tour guide trips and stuff. And then it seems like right around COVID, they closed it down permanently. I don't know if COVID had anything to do with that, but it says like on the website that it's, what was it?
No, it was that my book came out.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I think it was. It was like a week after it came out. We're going to close the coal mine now. This is the tourist coal mine.
Yeah.
Just because we thought you could read here.
Right. Yeah. The 40 patch town, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Thanks, Mitch, for coming on. Really like the work.
Yeah, this was great. And we met at the Youngstown Lit Festival, right?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah. We were so glad that you stopped by. It's always good to pick up another writer for our Northern Appalachian groupness. So thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Are you guys planning on being out at Youngstown again this year? That's like one of my favorite conferences.
Yes.
That's one of the ones I go to and I never actually present because I like to just go to the panels and hang out and talk to people, so I always go there. Karen Schubert, who runs it, who is just a wonderful human being, she'll be like, well, Mitch, the call's coming out if you want to submit something. I'm like, no thanks, Karen, I'm just going to come hang out with you guys. I'm not going to submit anything, but it's a cool space. I hope that you're all out there again this year.
Yeah, we will be. In fact, if you hang on for just a second after we're done, we'll talk for just a minute about that. Cool. So we wanted to remind everybody that next week we will be broadcasting live on Friday, not on Thursday, from Donkey Coffee in Athens, Ohio, because we will be at the Appalachian Studies Association conference that is being held at Ohio University this year. Our guest next week is the wonderful Athens, Ohio poet laureate, Stephanie Kendrick. And we are very much looking forward to not only broadcasting live and in person from Athens, but also greeting all of our Northern Appalachian and other Appalachian followers and members and friends. So find us at Donkey Coffee on Friday, March 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. That's where we'll be. So thanks, everybody.
See you next week.
Thanks again, Mitch.
Bye, everyone. Absolutely. Thank you so much.